One of the hardest things for me when I learned I had cancer was realizing I'm not going to be able to breastfeed once I start chemotherapy. And that was a real loss for me. My name is Joanna Montgomery. I'm a newlywed and a new mom, currently battling stage 3C fallopian tube cancer. And this is my story.
Are you ready for that?
One thing that I knew I wanted to do was breastfeed my baby, and I took it very seriously. I met with a lactation doula. I started breastfeeding the first night, and it's as difficult as they say, but it was such a great bonding experience. We were starting to get the hang of it over the course of those first 5 days. And so realizing, I didn't get to have that natural birth experience, and now I'm not going to get to breastfeed was a difficult realization for me, and there was some grief along with that. I started investigating options, and one of the options was pumping and dumping for 6 months. And to pump and dump means that you keep your milk flow going by using a breast pump, but you have to throw the milk away because it's toxic.
Oh, babes.
The thought is that once the chemotherapy's out of my system, that Maggie could start breastfeeding again. She would be over 6 months old at that point.
Extra sleepy right there.
I talked to my oncologist about it. I talked to Maggie's pediatrician, and ultimately decided that it would be too difficult for me physically and emotionally to be going through chemotherapy and trying to pump breast milk every 2 or 3 hours for 6 months in the hopes that Maggie would want to latch back on at that advanced age of over 6 months. I didn't want that rejection, and I didn't want anything that was going to drain me further and prevent me from being a good mom to Maggie. So I made the decision to switch to formula. A very close friend of mine knew that this was hard for me. Talked to her friend Emily, who had a new baby and was breastfeeding.
You done? Are you done?
She's a woman who was a high producer. She just had this surplus. She approached me and said, "Would you consider using donor milk for Maggie?" I just felt this sense of relief. She drank Emily's milk every day for the first 3 months of her life. Emily and Maggie have met one time, and they're both going to be at the same birthday party today. So I'm really looking forward to being able to thank Emily for her gift to Magnolia.
What are you looking at, Emily? Oh, you're growling at Emily?
I found out about Joanna, who, had just had her baby. There's been this diagnosis, and now, she can't even breastfeed the baby. And I was like, wait a minute, does she want breast milk?
Just how the timing of how that all came about
was very interesting. Because I was literally like, I just have so much milk. I wish there was somebody I knew who could use it. So then little Maggie came along.
We'll tell you that story sometime.
So starting from very early on, I was pumping extra to make sure I always had a surplus in my freezer. When I had, at least 30 ounces or 30, 40, 50 ounces, I would let her know and just be like, whenever you can come by, bring a cooler, and we'd arrange an exchange, a drop-off. She'd bring an empty cooler and I'd give her the milk.
Are you talking to Emily? You're saying thank you?
It just seemed like the perfect timing and the perfect answer. I call Emily the Lactation Goddess because she can just produce milk like nobody's business.
You gonna come see too?
Oh, thank you, bro. That's so sweet.
Don't miss an episode of It's Cancer Baby. Subscribe now.